Next, please welcome a hero to all of us, the man who played a significant role in ending the Vietnam War, and who has made it clear he believes Bradley Manning is a hero, Daniel Ellsberg. Following Dan, we will hear from Bradley's own friend, David House, who has visited Bradley more often than any of us probably put together in the brig here. So first Daniel and then David. Thank you.
Well, there's been a little victory of free speech. I don't know if you've heard it or not. We've been planning, some of us veterans here were planning to, did you announce that we're putting the, hello? What's the matter? All right. Was it announced that they are going to let us freely speak our truth of putting these flowers on the Iwo Jima Memorial?
Our Iwo Jima.
We were expecting to get arrested for doing that. We certainly weren't going to allow them to stop us or to keep us from doing that. They'd have to arrest us. It seems that they've backed down on that, so thank you for being here. I think they thought there were too many people here to make an issue of that. I haven't been right here for 56 years. In 1954, I spent 11 months of that year in Quantico, first in OCs and then in basic school. And they say that once a Marine, you're always a Marine. Apparently, there's no former Marines. That seems to be true because I find it in two ways in myself that I'm still a Marine. First, I'm proud when the Marines do something right, when I read that it's a Marine who's done the right thing, when Major General Anthony Zinni of the Marines said before the Iraq War that this was wrong, hopeless, that it should not be done. I thought, right, a Marine, I like that. I would be very happy if Bradley Manning were a Marine. If I'd read that, I would have said, yeah, right, very good. And then the other way I remember that I'm a Marine, or I discover it in myself, is shame when they're doing something as they're doing at Quantico right now. If they were torturing Bradley Manning in an army cell right now, I'd be outraged and I'd be protesting it. I wouldn't find in myself the shame that I feel that members of the Corps are doing that. So I want that to stop, and I don't want, President Obama could change that with one phone call. Inform himself, Marines should not have to wait for their commander-in-chief to stop breaking the law and doing this. So our presence here, I hope, will shame them, just possibly. We'll see into that. The motto of the Marines is Semper Fidelis, always faithful. But times like these raise the question, faithful to what? Faithful to whom? The oath I took as an officer in the Marine Corps was not actually to the Corps, and it wasn't to keeping secrets. And what most people don't realize, the oath that I took, and every congressperson, every member of the government, like every officer in all the services take, is the same oath, and it is not to the President or the Commander-in-Chief. It's an oath solely to defend and support the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, the truth is that under Bush, Cheney, Addington, Rumsfeld, and the others, we were governed by a regime that I recognize as domestic enemies of the Constitution in the sense of that oath. And there was a constitutional coup, in effect, which very unfortunately was not part of the change that President Obama has carried out. So he's persisted in these secrecy, in the rendition, in turning over suspects for torture in Iraq, as Bradley Manning revealed in the Iraq war logs. Now, when I say Bradley Manning here, the government, it's the people who are prosecuting have the burden of proof of proving beyond a reasonable doubt the charges that they brought, and that's right to put that on them. I can make a judgment on those chat logs, which they have to decide whether they're admissible in court or not, but I'll make the judgment and give the burden of the credit to Bradley Manning, that he did do what he's charged, which makes him a hero in my eyes. So the person, Bradley, I'll say from now on, the person WikiLeaks will expose it, I'll say Bradley Manning, who I believe deserves that credit by his what he said in the chat logs. If he'd had access to the information that I did in the Pentagon in 64, 65, when I didn't put it out, unfortunately, until years later, if he'd had that let's say, before the lies that got us into Iraq, I believe he would have exposed those and saved us from that terrible war and from the escalation in Afghanistan later. There was no Bradley Manning at high level to tell the truth. Not General Powell, Secretary of State, not anybody who did that. And Bradley Manning was the one who showed that he had the courage and the conscience to carry out his oath to support the Constitution and to reveal the torture that we were doing, the torture that he is now experiencing in this country. Again, giving the lie to President Obama's claim that he has ended torture, which is simply false. He was faithful, as I say, to his oath, which everybody takes even in the Army. It may sound, I see people here with signs saying, "I am Bradley Manning." Well, this may sound self-serving of me or boastful, but I was the Bradley Manning of my day. And since then, I've been telling people who are in a position like mine, don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. Don't wait. I think that was support. Don't wait till the bombs are falling. Don't wait till years of war have taken place and more have died before you tell the truth to the press. Somebody came up to me earlier and said, "Well, you went first to Congress." And I said, "Yes, that was a mistake. I wasted 22 months that way. I should have gone straight to the press with that information. It would have come out a lot sooner." And even then, of course, you can't count, as Bradley Manning knew, you can't count on the mainstream press. The New York Times sat on the information they had of the crimes of the National Security Agency, the warrantless wiretapping. They sat on that past an election and gave us another 4 years of George W. Bush, which was wrong. Okay, so going to WikiLeaks and getting it out and telling the New York Times they couldn't sit on it was the right thing for him to do. I was facing life imprisonment, 115 years in prison, as he is. I was called a traitor, as he is. I was called that by the president, by the vice president at the time.